Okay, so this video is going to explain a little bit more how we can scale recipes. So when we're scaling a recipe, that means we're either making the recipe bigger or we're making it smaller, and our problem is going to tell us which one we're going to do. So if I'm looking at this blue problem, it says you have a recipe for pasta that serves 8 people. How many batches would you need to feed 20 people? So a batch is like one recipe. So if I have one batch of this pasta recipe, it's going to serve 8 people. If I have 2 batches, it's going to serve 8 plus 8 because it's 2 batches. So 2 batches would serve 16 people. And obviously, I know if I'm going from 8 to 20, my recipe is going to be bigger. So I'm going to need a number bigger than 1 when I'm looking at it. Now, you could think, I know that if I do 20 divided by 8, that's going to give me what my scale factor is. The scale factor is what you multiply by to get how much more of the recipe, how many batches you would need to make to feed 20 people. So if I do 20 divided by 8, I get 2.5. So if I go on up here, I'm just going to type 2.5 batches. And this looks like a good number to me if we're just thinking about using logic, because if I'm going from 8 to 20, like I said earlier, our number should be bigger than 1. So we're going to make 2.5 batches of the pasta recipe to feed 20 people. Going from 8 to 20, I'm going to have to make 2.5 batches. So you can think of it that way. Or if you need to set it up as a cross multiplication problem, I'm going to set that up and we'll do this example together. Okay, so I went ahead and I made this red so it's a little bit easier to see. So I know that I have 8 people or 8 servings, either one works, in one batch. Now my question is asking me about making 20 servings to feed 20 people. So I've got my people up here, and they did not tell me how many batches I would have to make. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So if I go ahead and cross multiply, I get 20 times 1, which is just 20. And then I get 8 times x, which is 8x. Now, if I want to get x by itself, which is what I need to do, all I'm going to do is divide 20 by whatever number is in front of my x. So I have to get rid of the coefficient in front of my x, and that is 8. So I'm going to go ahead, divide by 8. And when I do that, these 8s cancel, and I'm left with 20 divided by 8 equals x. Well, we just put 20 divided by 8 into Desmos, and we got 2.5. So if this way helps you see it more, that is totally fine. Do it this way. As you can see, we're getting the same answers. If you want to see another example, if you feel good, go ahead, try the assignment or the activity. If you need another example, we'll go through one right now. So this is, you have a recipe for cookies that makes 12 cookies. How many batches would you need to make 4 cookies? Automatically, this problem's a little bit different because I'm going from 12 to 4. 12 to 4. So I'm going to need a number that's smaller than 1. So 2.5 was bigger than 1. If it's asking me how many batches I would need to make 4 cookies, it's going to be a fraction of a batch because 12 is larger than 4, and we're moving down to 4. Okay, so again, you might think, I know that 12 divided by 3 is 4. So I know that my scale factor would have to be 1/3. I'm going to go ahead and type that. You might be able to see that if I'm at 12 and I'm getting to 4, or I need to get to 4, I would need to divide by 3 in order to do that. Or if you want to set this up as a cross multiplication problem, we can do that as well. All right, so same deal. I've got my people up here. I've got my batches down here. This is what the problem tells me. I can feed 12 people or make 12 cookies with one batch. And then it asks how many batches I would need to feed 4 people or make 4 cookies. So again, it's not telling me how many batches I need. So that's what we're trying to figure out. So if I go ahead and cross multiply, I get 4 times 1, which is just 4. And then I get 12 times x, which is just 12x. And then in order for me to figure out what x is, of course, I have to divide by the coefficient, or the number in front of x, which is just 12. I've got to do it on both sides. So these 12s are going to cancel. And then if I put 4 over 12 in Desmos, I get 0.333333, which I know is 1/3. So my answer is the same, 1/3 batch.